Up next, near record inflation is changing holiday spending for consumers this year.
It's a single item and it's more than like $9. I'm not buying it.
Plus, fentanyl continues to invade street drugs, leading to deaths across the country.
I have younger siblings. I'm worried about them going out to parties and accidentally taking fentanyl.
And Penn State's Shavers Creek has launched a groundbreaking new program training venomous snakes. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Josh Portney.
And I'm Megan Swift. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, near record inflation is changing the way many people are spending money this holiday season. Reporter Anna Meyer has the story.
Looks like the biggest Grinch this holiday season is inflation. It's running at 7.7%, far above the government's target rate of 2%. And spiking prices have made many consumers more cautious with how and where they spend.
Consumers become very cautious about how they spend the money. And so they're being very frugal about it. And since the prices have gone up, the consumer has decided they're not going to give gifts for everybody.
If it's a single item and it's more than like $9, I'm not buying it.
Retailers have tried to create more discounts and sales for shoppers to make their products more appealing, but some say it's not enough.
I would definitely say price increases. The sales seem to be less saley. Although there's more of them, but the prices, aren't as great.
Amazon, eBay, and Walmart are some of the leading companies when it comes to large discount days.
These rising prices might not just affect how many gifts you get people this holiday season, but the kind of food you'll get as well.
The things that went up the most are your cookies and candies. And so if you really have a sweet tooth, you're going to have to pay a lot for it.
With high demand in certain ingredients like milk, eggs, and flour, more food products have had an overall price increase. Jason Coopy is the owner of Wayfruit Farm and says he tries to do what he can to ease customers' financial stress.
Costs of everything have been outrageous. We've tried to keep any cost increases down to a bare minimum, but it's been hard.
To help ease the toll these prices may have on you this holiday season, experts say you might need to consider hosting larger gatherings for the holidays to split costs. Only buy what you need and stick with places and days that have good discounts available. Penn State global economics professor Dr. Fariborz Gadar says while inflation is high right now, there may be a light at the end of the tunnel with these prices.
While inflation is still over 7%, it has gone down. And chances are it's going to go down. So we're optimistically, I think the worst is behind us.
Experts say not all products have experienced a price surge. Some clothing, TVs, and computers have seen a decrease. In State College, I'm Anna Meyer for the Center County Report.
The National Retail Federation estimates people are planning to spend an average of $833 on gifts, food, decorations, and other holiday purchases, which is slightly more than last year.
Still on the topic of spending, top officials from the municipalities that make up the Center Region Council of Governments have issued a joint statement opposing a proposed 16.8% increase in funding that the municipalities pay for. With the proposed budget, nearly every member municipality would have to raise taxes to pay for the increase. The joint statement is a rare move. They said, "These increases are proposed at a time when we are grappling with double-digit inflation, escalating oil prices, and supply chain issues that are driving up our costs and straining our budgets. We are also still in the throes of recovering from a pandemic that saw a significant loss of revenue for all of us." For the first time ever, a woman will serve as a majority leader in the Pennsylvania State Senate. Republican Kim Ward was selected to serve as President Pro Tem to replace Jake Corman of Bellefonte. Ward is from Westmoreland County, and she's been in the Senate since 2009.
What's in the water? A new study by Penn State researchers says so-called forever chemicals are showing up even through wastewater treatment and may have effects on crops and human health. Renata Dow reports.
They're known as forever chemicals, a group of more than 4,000 synthetic compounds used in manufacturing and industry. Now, a new study by Penn State researchers shows these chemicals stick around, even through the wastewater treatment process, and may enter crops.
They're these chemicals that are really difficult to degrade, but they're very abundant in the products that we use.
Heather Presidence is an associate professor of agriculture and biological engineering. She says the compounds are used in products that resist heat, oil, stains, grease, and water. They're found in clothing, furniture, food packing, and non-stick cooking surfaces. The study shows they may have a lasting impact on the use of treated wastewater for irrigation and other purposes. For nearly 4 decades, Penn State has used its wastewater for forest and crop irrigation and groundwater recharge through its Living Future system.
The university spray irrigates all of its treated wastewater in this area known as the Living Future. These compounds persist to the wastewater treatment plant.
The concern is that compounds may enter the food chain when crops are fed to livestock and could contribute to health issues such as increased risk of cancer and elevated cholesterol levels.
One of the best things we can do is think about alternatives to what we use in our everyday lives, that we can be mindful of the products that we consume that have these chemicals.
For Central County Report, I'm Renata Dow.
The study was done by researchers at Penn State and published in the Agronomy Journal.
There's something else causing problems in our area, but this time in the sewer system. And it's something many people use every day in their homes. Reporter Ava Brengord is live in University Park with the story. Ava?
We're here at the water reclamation facility where they process the wastewater for the university. And flushable wipes like these are causing a messy problem for Penn State.
We hardly ever think about what happens after we flush the toilet, or even what we flush. But those popular flushable wipes are becoming a big problem at Penn State.
I'm breaking it down. You go through the toilet paper first, and then the flushable wipes just come through and just clean it all up. The job is always complete.
Gary Beck is the supervisor of Penn State's water reclamation facility. He says we buy wipes thinking they can be flushed, but they're really not meant to be.
Companies that are marketing as disposable or flushable wipes, there's no regulatory agency that requires them to prove they're flushables.
The wipes are creating plugs that back up the sewer systems. Beck says 90% of plug-related issues are due to flushable wipes. They're mixing with other oils and grease that naturally go in the sewer systems. And the clogs are costing the university hundreds of thousands of dollars per year.
It is a major maintenance issue. It causes a cost to the university and to other municipalities around us just to take care of these wipes and problems and the wear and tear they create on the equipment.
These flushable wipes are an issue across State College, but the real problem where the wipes are concentrated is right here in East Halls.
We're seeing it at East Halls right now. We just put on a brand new pump station. We brought it online a couple months ago. We're not sure if it's just the new pump station or if it's just the fact that the students have come back and maybe they're using more than what we're used to seeing.
He says the solution is simple.
We still need to disinfect. We still need to use wipes. Flushable wipes are not flushable. Please don't flush them down the toilet any longer. There is other methods to get rid of that. Throw them in the trash. The biggest thing is just dispose of them properly.
To solve this issue, Penn State is increasing their preventative maintenance programs to clean the lines more frequently. Live from University Park, I'm Ava Brengord for the Center County Report.
Thanks, Ava. Penn State's Palmer Museum of Art is getting ready for a big move to a new home. The museum is in a phased process of moving from Curtin Road to a new facility near the Arboretum. The new complex features indoor spaces and an outdoor terrace for hosting events and education programs. Donors have raised more than $20 million for the project. The current museum on campus will close in May.
Still to come on the Center County Report, stormy weather is on the way. We'll check the 7-day forecast.
Also, the drug crisis that's still hitting Pennsylvania hard. And see what animal trainers here in Central PA are doing with the snakes in a unique program at Shavers Creek.
Pennsylvania's drug crisis, especially with fentanyl, is continuing to affect thousands of people. Reagan Stoddard takes a closer look.
Fentanyl and other drugs continue to tear apart lives and families across Pennsylvania. But it's not just those who are using drugs who can be potential victims.
I have younger siblings. I'm worried about them going out to parties and accidentally taking fentanyl, because it is something that's usually the case is like you take it accidentally, you overdose.
The CDC reports more than 107,000 Americans died of drug overdoses last year. And in recent years, highly potent fentanyl has made its way into other drugs, making them even more dangerous.
There's been I would say a leak in terms of fentanyl seeping into all available drugs.
In 2021, 66% of drug overdoses were related to fentanyl. This caused a major crackdown for the DEA.
The DEA says fentanyl is the single deadliest drug threat ever faced by our nation. A major bust on the West Coast this fall led to 11 arrests and a major fentanyl seizure.
The first half of this investigation seized 330,000 pills of fentanyl. 330,000.
But the feds say this fight will go on for years. In State College, I'm Reagan Stoddard for the Center County Report.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, you can call the Center for Community Resources at 1-800-643-5432 or go to ccrinfo.org.
Most people are afraid of snakes, but there's something fascinating going on at Penn State's Shavers Creek Environmental Center. Animal trainers there have been able to train some poisonous snakes. Alina Lebedeva looks into how they did it.
There's something groundbreaking happening at Penn State Shavers Creek Environmental Center. Animal trainers there have launched a unique training program for venomous snakes. Joe Whitehead, the reptile program coordinator, says the idea started as a way to help a resident rattlesnake and see if it was possible to interactively train snakes.
We really wanted to try to find a way to give him a voice and let him be more comfortable with us.
Venomous snakes like this one right here can be found all around the state of Pennsylvania, and they might be smarter than what we think.
The snakes learned that if they followed a ball at the end of a rod, they'd be rewarded with food. Whitehead says this is one of the first, if not the first, places to train rattlesnakes in a zoo-type setting. Paige Sutherland, program director of wildlife education, says the team used a novel approach to influence the snake's behaviors in positive ways.
We just took the theory that we had applied to other species under our care, and we used it with the venomous snakes to see if we could start to elicit more comfort behaviors or what might happen when we provide these engaging opportunities.
Target training teaches animals to either touch or stand near an object. It helped caregivers to get a more interactive experience with the animals compared to a traditional hands-off approach.
That way we could ask him to move to different parts of his enclosure. We could ask him to potentially get into like a weighing bin. Like we have these little plastic bins that they'll go in and weigh themselves in.
The Shavers Creek team says early results show benefits to the snakes in the form of less stress, which means less rattling and strikes. They say there is no training manual for snakes and they're essentially making it up as they go. In Petersburg, I'm Alina Lebedeva for the Center County Report.
The article about the unique snake training program was named Paper of the Year by the American Association of Zookeepers.
Good afternoon, and as always, thank you for tuning in. I'm student meteorologist Joey Walker with your CCR afternoon forecast for today. Now, we have a very cloudy outlook for our Tuesday today, and that's because we're expecting a cold front to approach Pennsylvania throughout the day today and approach us by tomorrow morning. Now, that's going to be bringing in the chance for some rain and even some possible isolated thunderstorms as well. But right now in State College, 41 degrees and the clouds have taken over, and that's actually occurred all across Pennsylvania as that cold front has gotten pretty close at this point. But at feels like 41 here in State College because winds are surprisingly calm for once, but that's not going to hold for tomorrow as that cold front does break in. So will those winds. We'll see some sustained winds between 10 to 15 miles per hour and even some gusts above 20. So you're definitely going to want that windbreaker or extra jacket for your morning commute tomorrow. Now, normally the high for this time of year is 44 and the low is 30. Compared to the weekend, much more chillier, as over the weekend we did see some above average temperatures within the mid to high 50s. So certainly much more seasonable for this time of year as we're sitting across the Commonwealth here within the mid to low 40s. But we are seeing this system get very close. Those clouds are building up, as you can see, across Pennsylvania here, but directing our attention out of Pennsylvania towards central United States. You can actually see where this cold front is, denoted by the snow here. Now behind that is all that Arctic air, and it is also causing some mayhem down here in the southeast. Now there is some chance for some seriously severe weather along the southeast, and there is also the chance for some long track isolated tornadoes as well. But by the time it does reach us in Pennsylvania, it's not going to have the same amount of oomph that it did here in the southeast, and we're also not going to be receiving any type of snow because it's just going to be too warm. But when are we going to see this exactly? Well, it is going to be knocking on our door in western Pennsylvania as early as about 3:30 a.m. Those clouds will persist overnight, but here it is. You could potentially, if you're within the Franklin area, wake up to a rumble of thunder or two, but definitely some heavier rain expected as this knocks on the western portion of the state. But about 6:15, 6:30 or so here in central PA State College, we do see that rain. A couple of heavier pockets moving through the State College area. But for those in eastern Pennsylvania, if you want to beat the rain, I would suggest getting up about half hour, 45 minutes earlier than you would for your early morning commute, as we will see that system break in by about 8 a.m. So here's your forecast for today. 44 degrees and cloudy skies. Now, the winds will be a little bit calmer, about 5 to 10 miles per hour as we get to tonight. Now, as that system does get closer and closer, we could see that rain eventually break in by about 3:30, but those clouds will persist for a low of 40. And for tomorrow, morning and afternoon showers with a high of 50. Definitely those winds are going to be a bit of a problem. Definitely grab that jacket. 7-day forecast. Tuesday and Wednesday, cloudy, but we will once again be sunny by Friday, but unfortunately, the clouds will return by the weekend.
Thanks, Joey. Well, all this cold weather is making me excited for the holiday season.
Absolutely. It's the time.
Absolutely. My favorite time of the year. Jacob, tell me a little bit about sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, a Penn State sports law expert talks about controversy surrounding the Qatar World Cup. And Penn State football wraps up its regular season and awaits what could be a big-time bowl destination. I'm Jacob Charis for sports. Penn State football plays the waiting game now to see what bowl game they'll play in. Reporter Anna Meyer looks back on how the Nittany Lions beat Michigan State to earn another 10-win season.
Before the battle for the Land Grant Trophy kicked off, the Nittany Lions celebrated 22 seniors in their final home game.
Their leadership has been unbelievable all year long. The vets in that locker room, I thought the captains were unbelievable all year long. Tremendous communication, transparency was great, and they were aligned with the coaches.
Penn State struck first on an 11-yard throw to tight end Theo Johnson in the first quarter. His night wasn't done. As the Nittany Lions opened up their bag of tricks a little later, Sean Clifford threw to receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith, who then launched a pass to Johnson, who was left alone for the 48-yard score.
This is quarterback Sean Clifford's final home game. He arrived in 2017 and has been a starter ever since 2019.
Clifford was efficient with 5 incompletions and 4 touchdowns on 24 attempts. His first career pass was a touchdown, and his last throw in Beaver Stadium, this 35-yard touchdown to Lambert-Smith.
The game's not over, but you feel pretty good about where you're at and just kind of start to really look around and think about all the memories that I've had here and just take it all in.
That score gave Penn State a 35-16 lead, which they held the rest of the way to reclaim the Land Grant Trophy. After playing his last regular season game, Clifford shared some advice he's taken to heart.
That whatever you're doing, love what you're doing, and just take a couple seconds every once in a while, every day, and just realize how blessed we are.
At Beaver Stadium, I'm Anna Meyer for the Center County Report.
We'll find out if the Nittany Lions will play another in another New Year's Six game during the playoff selection show Sunday at noon. And another note, Penn State offensive lineman Olu Fashanu has announced he will return next season. That's a big one for the Nittany Lions. Penn State men's basketball takes on Clemson tonight in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. The Nittany Lions are 6-1 and are coming off a win against Lafayette on Friday. Fifth-year guard Jalen Pickett had 18 points and Seth Lundy had 15. He also led the team with 7 rebounds. And Penn State men's hockey takes on Ohio State this weekend. It's the first game since the Big Ten tournament last year, where Penn State beat the Buckeyes. The Lions are 13-3 and are third in the Big Ten. Torland and Connor McMenamin and Ben Schoen lead the team with 12 points each. And at the World Cup, the U.S. takes on Iran this afternoon. This year's World Cup in Qatar has featured plenty of controversy, from allegations of bribery to human rights issues and accusations of sports washing. Stephen Ross, who leads Penn State's Center for the Study of Sports and Society, says Qatar is accused of using sports to gain positive international attention and play down the negatives. He says Qatar even bought its own soccer team.
They also have purchased one of the top European football clubs, Paris Saint-Germain, and so this is all part of a strategy that uses sport as well as many other things to project a high public and positive public image internationally.
Qatar is the smallest nation to ever host the World Cup. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Jacob. Coming up next, one of the world's most famous basketball teams is returning to the Bryce Jordan Center. We'll tell you when.
They've been entertaining people for generations. Now the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters are coming back to State College. The Bryce Jordan Center will host the Harlem Globetrotters on February 28th. Tickets cost between $18 and $70, and they're on sale now. Discount student tickets are available for $11.50. The Trotters are known for their incredible basketball skills and lots of laughs. The team also performed here last year.
That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Friday for our next local news update.
But you can always follow us anytime for breaking news and watch our stories on the Center County Report's social media. You'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and our website. Have a great afternoon.